to this story now. Chief Magistrate Desmond Nair is alleged to have bagged 200,000 rands worth of security upgrades from the controversial company Bosasa. He's now been provisionally suspended. To discuss this, I'm joined by Cassim Moosa. He is from the Magistrates Commission. Advocate Moosa, thank you very much for your time. Firstly, let's begin with the background. How did this case land up at your door?
Yes, during January 2019, the witness, Mr. Leroux, made the allegations at the State Capture Commission, wherein the allegations were made that the Chief Magistrate, Mr. Desmond Nair, had received benefit up to the amount of 200,000 rand at no cost to him. When that matter became privy to us, we immediately thereon, the following day, as the Ethics Committee took a decision to institute an investigation into the allegations that were made against the Chief Magistrate. The investigation report was compiled by two independent investigators who found sufficient prima facie evidence against the Chief Magistrate in order for him to respond thereto.
Prima facie evidence, what are those two factors that were found against him?
Well, the matter is sub judice currently, so I don't want to delve directly into the merits of the matter. But safe to say that there was sufficient evidence to cause the Chief Magistrate to respond and answer to the allegations that were made by the witness at the State Capture Commission.
So, what happens from here on?
So, what transpired subsequent to the investigation report, a recommendation was made by the Magistrates Commission to the Minister to provisionally suspend Mr. Nair from office pending the misconduct inquiry into his fitness to hold office. And the rationale behind that decision was simply because of the reputational damage that the Commission saw that the judiciary may suffer if Mr. Nair remained in office whilst the misconduct inquiry was being conducted.
That reputational harm, Advocate Cassim, is something that I think South Africans are most worried about, because he's not the first member of the judiciary to be accused of ill behavior. Yes. We can all remember the judge, Nkola Matata, but I suppose yours will not necessarily delve into that, because you look specifically for, or you handle cases specifically that have to do with magistrates and their conduct. But what has this done reputationally for the judiciary? Well,
I think the allegations were made on the 30th of January 2019. And immediately thereafter, on the 1st of February 2019, the Ethics Committee at its meeting deliberated and immediately took steps. And that alone should send out a clarion call to the public at large that the judiciary takes allegations of misconduct extremely seriously. We act swiftly upon these matters in order to maintain the integrity and the image of the judiciary to the general public.
Just out of interest, Chief Magistrate Desmond Nair, yes, since these allegations were made at the Commission of Inquiry into state capture, he's not been at that commission, but just out of interest, what is his response to these allegations against him?
Well, he's denied the allegations that have been made against him. Yeah, he's denied the allegations that have been made against him. I have taken note of the fact that we have been advised that he has not brought an application to the State Capture Commission to cross-examine Leroux.
Which means he accepts?
Not necessarily so. It's obviously Mr. Nair is acting upon the advices of his legal representatives, and he will obviously deal with the allegations at the forthcoming misconduct inquiry that will be taking place.
Very briefly, does he sound, or has he indicated that he is going to challenge your findings and your recommendations to the Minister?
Yes, he has.
So the matter is going to court?
Yes, the matter is going to be. So essentially what's going to happen in terms of the process, the Commission is going to appoint an independent tribunal, and that independent tribunal, which comprises of a presiding officer and a presenting officer, are going to deal with the allegations, the inquiry into the fitness to hold office, and then we will await their recommendation regarding the veracity and the nature of the evidence that was led, and the recommendation that the presiding officer will make regarding the fitness to hold office by Mr. Nair.
Advocate Cassim Moosa, thank you very much.
Thank you most kindly.
He's from the Magistrates Commission.